Hey everybody, welcome to Obscurities and Miniatures. It's been a good hot minute since I built something ridiculously large and improbable for any type of actual gaming purpose, so you know what? I think it's time for another one. Today, plop, we are going to subject ourselves to the aspect of Demogorgon from Archvillain Games. Believe it or not, I've probably printed more Archvillain giant centerpiece models, I think, than I've actually filmed or painted at this point. I've got a bunch of them. Maybe someday I'll get around to actually doing something with them. It's like one of those someday maybe piles, and they just keep stacking up. All right, so here is the base. It's a funky shape, but you could probably put it on a bigger one, and I might just do that, actually. It's just two pieces, and I have had a terrible time keeping all of the vegetation still attached. You can see it's all kind of a ruined jungle temple here. Nicely hollowed out, which is always a plus. You can see the remains of previous victims of our demogorgonic monstrosity. It looks like a tree of some sort, roots growing everywhere. I haven't sprayed it, cleaned it, done much else yet, other than hit it with the UV light. But yeah, I just popped off another of the branches, or not branches, leaves here. I think there was a third one. I have no idea where I dropped it now. Let's look at our actual Demogorgon, buddy. So we're going to continue with the very baboon-like two-headed hairy and feathered look. You'll notice that his back has all sorts of connection points. He's got a lot of limbs. His bottom half, surprisingly, has no genitalia, connects to this part of the base in like 3 different spots. There's a little connection point right here on the vines, and then those two on the actual bricks, and then the main joint for the body. And then on his back side, as I pull through all of the various wiggly bits here, he's got a nice barbed tail. I don't remember if he's always had a barbed tail. I thought he had like snake mouths. I don't remember. But the fun part is, so he's got 4 quite large and clawed limbs, which actually were quite easy to remove. And they're going to go in these 2 spots down here, and then in these 2 spots up here. The 3 upper positions on his back are going to be filled with big, giant tentacles. Tentacles. Now, a fun thing going on with them is they've got some very genitalia-like mouths growing off of them. That's a new one. To which, on the end, those bits have mouths as well. Now, I was super concerned about all of the tentacles, getting them mixed up. Thankfully, there's a lot of these either feather or spiky patterns going along them that kind of help figure out where they're going to go, because the central part of his back is going to be taken up with this pile of stuff, which has a whole bunch of tentacles attached to it. In fact, there's at least 4 more further tentacles that are going to go on there. So while he has a bit of a low profile in terms of actual height and actual just mass being taken up by a gigantic base, I mean, if you want gigantically based Archvillain models, there are quite a few, especially if you're in the mood for giant demons like this. But I think the bulk of what's going to take up a lot of the height are the tentacles themselves, because being multi-part, it's going to continue to go forward and go in every possible direction. So that's going to be a fun little challenge. Most likely, I'm thinking I'm going to go ahead and build the bulk of our Demogorgon friend here, and then just probably not attach him directly to the base just yet. I might change my mind. So sit tight. Let's see what I end up doing, and hopefully you guys are gonna stick around for that. Sit tight. All right. Well, here's the base for our Demogorgonish friend, and that turned out all right, except for the fact that I keep breaking the stupid leaves off. I have had a horrible time trying not to break it. So, don't be like me. Be careful. But the things I do for you folks. I had a bit of a hassle with this. And I'm going to show you guys. And I don't know, maybe you guys, somebody out there will have some suggestions outside of just printing the whole thing over again. Because individually the parts came out just fine. Here we have the back side with the tail attached. And I don't think I destroyed anything except for a few feathers here and there on the top. Everything seems to, sit nice and neat. No, that's not how it goes. Yep, there we go. Everything's attached. And I kept the front half separate for the time being. That's where I keep breaking everything. All these stupid feathers on him. Okay. I didn't glue the center. I keep doing that. My God. Why do I not know how to put it together? Seriously, I have had no issues with this, and now it wants to be like just completely uncooperative. Thank you, Demogorgon, or whatever your name is. So I keep busting off feathers everywhere, and I didn't glue the back tentacles just for ease of access at this point. Now, the way things should work hypothetically is that this hand actually has an indentation right where my finger is pointing to it, and then the other hand is going to rest on those steps. So I said hypothetically because when I want to fit it together, and I just heard something fall off, it sounds like. So I got the hand in there okay, and the fist. Are you going to actually cooperate with me now? Oh my God. Okay, I stand corrected. For whatever reason, now when I'm trying to film stuff, you want to work the right way. Thanks a lot. I appreciate that. I have had the biggest freaking hassle with this thing, trying to get the body lined up. And as you can see, I mean, I guess, yeah, his left hand isn't exactly touching, and the right leg isn't exactly connected to the base there. It is hard to see. There's just a lot going on. Let me brighten it up significantly. But those tentacles have such a long reach. Okay, it's more apparent there. So it's not actually touching the base. I don't know if that's going to be a huge deal breaker. There is a bit of a gap between the torso and the legs. Now, I figure if I let things go and just go ahead and glue it and maybe throw some green stuff in there, it won't be an issue. I can't make up my mind. Just didn't line up the way I wanted it to, you know? So that's what I was hoping. Maybe some of you can have some ideas. It just doesn't want to line up. My first thought is maybe trying to heat it up and see if that helps. I don't know. Just to give you guys a good sense of scale here. I mean, with those tentacles in play, it really does start to take up some space. Definitely one of the longer pieces I think I've printed from Archvillain at this point. I don't know. I was thinking about doing everything in like a base purple, or at least having the tentacles in purple. I was going to go paint up a bunch of tentacly purple stuff from Cast and Play as it was, so maybe I might still do that. I'm just talking out loud to myself here, I guess, but that's okay. That happens sometimes. And I also printed some of the other figures from this set, and I have no idea where I put them now. Like the big giant warriors, I think I showed them off on like Instagram or something. I have no clue where I put them. I do like the fact that they tried doing something different. Now, granted, Archvillain did a really, really nice Demogorgon earlier on as like one of their big rewards. I know they had like Angel Heralda's paint one up too, and I mean, it looked amazing. And it's probably still available, but I do like the fact that they just did something really wild and different with this version of it, and I do appreciate that. So I thought, you know, why not try something different? It doesn't look all that big and imposing. Obviously, just the base itself isn't super large. But you get that tentacle reach into play, and then I think it really enters into, centerpiece territory, much like some of the other pieces we've seen from Archvillain on this channel and out and about. I didn't want to grab them because they're heavy, the ones that I painted, and I figure I don't want to take my chances breaking them because I'm already, causing trouble with this. So again, I don't know. My only big issue is getting those gaps in between the body parts, halves, taken care of, because originally I was just going to go ahead and glue the whole thing, but then when I tried to place it on the base, it did not want to work. So that's why we're not doing that. And this fun mass of tentacles, I'm hoping I did them all correctly. I actually don't know. I mean, it looks all right, and they don't get in the way of anything else, so that's good. But it's definitely going to be a fun tentacly mess. So, wish me luck. I'm going to go try and get this guy started painting, or at least sprayed, and then maybe we'll just wait till the end result to glue everything together. I don't know. Like I said, if you guys have any suggestions, by all means, please let me know in the comments down below. How do you think I should reconcile his two halves to make him whole again? I would love to know. We'll also have a link to Archvillain Games' website. You guys can take a look at that, as well as my mini factory while I fight off the hiccups from something or other. That's odd. Anyways, this has been High Lord Tamberlane with Obscurities and Miniatures, saying thanks for watching, and we will see you back here soon. Bye-bye.